to be seen. Seconds away now for what feels like one of those timeless grand finals, but we get it here in the group stage. Of course, this is the winners of Group B matching up. Not making it unscathed, but it'll be OpTic starting things out on the attacking side. And of course, that means on the defensive side, it will be Loud.
Actually, yeah, Les taking a ton of damage there as he shifts through. Actually, will come back.
Spike down.
The kill on Marv. Actually threw on main on the back of his tripwire, but a lot more pressure coming back through elbow. Yay, holding off 3 members.
They're feisty as hell. Loud won the fight. Ferocious for it. They find 2, basically. Marv and Ye gone. Now, where does this get 1 back for OpTic? They need some space. They need a win somewhere in this pistol, but they've got just unfavorable numbers wherever they go. Noting 2 towards CT. They fall back towards site.
So yeah, looking as if OpTic now just want to resort back to maybe playing contact on the way back through, but Loud with the numbers here. FNS will find the first though.
They need to bail out. They need someone to double down here, give them some more. FNS can't stay in that position too long.
Player standing.
And already Aspas on the cleanup crash. He's the last one alive. It's 4 standing for Loud. Already getting fired up on the stage. Good beginnings and so proactive.
It really was. I mean, it was 3 down, and actually that's on the back of Les taking a ton of damage, but they just throw numbers behind it. I think under the assumption it's going to be Ye on the other side there, right? Go for the weaker side of the setup, which is something that traditionally, I mean, with the Cypher, like you go to backstab, right? You try and get behind some of these executions. Just so happens Les actually finds a kill on the back of the trap wire as well.
One enemy remaining.
Clean as you like. Lovely work. Desk noting Les as a player to keep your eye on, who did have one of those standout performances. Certainly something to note throughout this game if you can kindle that sort of form. Of course, on the other side, we looked at OpTic, and I don't get worried early with OpTic. No. It's not a team that I'm too stressed about. I'm looking at the purchase coming in here for them, though. Sheriff's Frenzies, a little bit of light armor for Ye, but again, it's nothing too out of sorts here. On the other side, Bulldogs galore, and the early rifle for Aspas.
I think you're bang on the money as well. We wait for that first Chet timeout, really, when, if it warrants a switch up. That's where we see it, but at least early on here, OpTic will push and prod towards B site. Really, Aspas making his way back towards Nest at least. Will reinforce this A site hold. Actually, with the Viper's wall here nice and early, it should keep both players on red alert here, and plenty of util to slow down this OpTic push.
This is really nice for Loud. They can cycle through it. Just really soak up the time. OpTic. Have to wait for this one. See the dart go down, and actually Sight going to be pretty much taken for free by Victor. But as I said, you can expect the contest to get down, and it's quite clean. That's lovely. 2 found swiftly. No big threats. Sadak does need to be a bit careful.
1 enemy remaining.
On 15, but found in the end. The rotations came in, 4 standing. Really, again, just cycling through the utility. A really nice timing there. Mike didn't seem too stressed, too out of position. Clean.
Lack of pressure in the early round here from on the side of OpTic. Obviously doesn't draw out any of his util. So, like I said, pretty much just holding on to their positions. And Sadak and Ankara had everything they needed to slow things down. So eyes go towards this round now. All 3 coming in. See what the approach is here from OpTic's. Looking fairly invested towards B initially, and looking actually pretty similar to the pistol round setup here from Loud, at least lacking 1 player towards tunnel and elbow. Again, going to look to try and get in behind this execution.
I don't mind trying to activate this rifle early with Aspas, a little high risk, potentially high reward. Victor on the other side, but the timing's great. Victor even gets a turn, it gets back on his feet, but
they were so blind as well.
Yeah, there was some real danger to this. Now, damage has been achieved. Yeah, Victor's down pretty low. Marv obviously lost his life in that, but a 2-for-1 trade out. Now, again, that's a rifle removed from this, though. So Sasi, Les, Pancada, can they find any more threats? Can they maybe chip away even further? But for now, we see them just... Everyone get on the site, calming it down, seeing some nice safe post plants. Let's see where Loud tries to approach this from, and they'll play back in.
It's looking as if they're just going to try and backstab once again, honestly. Go for these exits. It'll be very difficult to break back through. That's less going to open things up here, but behind that's a Sheriff and Spectre. You really have to close this distance. That's even the flank reveal.
That's here. Audio. You can instantly see it. And Finesse calling that through, well aware. Now going to get the free fight on 1, no trade, expecting the swing from window, and he's actually right to be seeing it. A pixel out of place is enough for him. And there we go. The rifle, the last thing in hand, it's gone. Clean work from FNS, just ensuring safety in the end of the round. But I don't mind them trying to activate that rifle early. The flash, honestly, wasn't a bad idea.
I mean, half a second earlier, I think you could see how blind some of the OpTic players
like
were
3 of them
in the back line. So, again, crucial that gets shut down. And actually, another thing to consider here, with FNS being the one to clear things up in round 4 here with the first full buy round. Actually should have access at least to getting a Viper's Pit online. Curious to see actually if there's any pressure towards this orb inside shop. Doesn't look like anybody's going to be playing too close on the side of Loud, but something to keep your eye on here if OpTic can get themselves to a post plant.
Yeah, and Aspas going glass cannon into this. Not sure if he got spotted. Victor there maybe caught a glimpse of it. But unquestionably holding somewhat of a default for now, showing a lot of intention towards B, but you can still see the split from OpTic here.
The problem being the drone goes through, but give the info from the counter drone and the spike, and they know that it's a fake. Sadak actually will pick up Victor inside tube here. There's actually two holding on to this position here. Marv actually find out the flash as well, which will be noted. There's double confirmation of this fake.
And now contact made. Yeah, he's in a little bit of danger, out of sorts and out of rhythm with that peak, and Finesse makes up for it. Pancada goes down, Aspas watching the push-up, but one already making it through could be a problem. All going to be invested, but Yay now removed. This is looking desperate from OpTic, as Louder in the right place for it now. Spike still, oh, Aspas!
Spike down A.
Just felt fated to connect that shot as FNS, the last one alive, and not for long, on the knees, down in this, is Loud. 3 standing, Operator still in play. Perfect start and perfect close. How on earth did they deny that plant so comfortably?
Absolute stab in the dark from Aspas.
Worked
Again,
well.
the Viper's Pit just to try and guarantee safe passage here, but there's a couple of peaks ahead of it blooming. Yay being the first to fall here. Marved again, I'm not sure even how safe it is that he comes through, but that shot to Crashies. Beautifully done.
Calculated, I get, you know, with the Viper's pick coming through, but still. I mean, needs to maybe buy a lottery ticket tonight. Looking pretty good. 3-1 though. We go back in. Victor 1 away, so gonna have the ult now ready to go.
It rounds out this purchase really. The rifles, well, light shield for Crashies. Couple of gaps in util, but Bladestorm will make this as close to a buy as they can.
But I like this. Aspas switching things up again, showing those early aggressions with that rifle they went for, but that's a leg shot as well. Evidence gets tagged and gets body bagged. Aspas, beautiful work here. This is really confident building plays. This is what you want to be seeing if you're a Loud fan, is early work being done. Now, there has been a response though. Sadak gets removed, so it's not completely out of the realms of possibility, but you'll need some heroics from these two.
Crashies and Marv find themselves in a 2v4. Marv actually won off ult. Crashies a little further away. Actually, the majority of the Loud players still curious as to whether or not there's any lurk from OpTic outside B, but should be able to get away with a free plant here. A wide open A site. I'm not sure at which point Loud could have figured this out, to be honest with you.
Yeah, surely the penny drops, or maybe they just simply sit for this position. Let's see what they go for here.
30 seconds left.
I mean, if OpTic get this clean plant, they can play very aggressively towards CT, for example.
But the timing and knowing that they can do that will be the curiosity to me, because obviously they're paranoid that someone's here, and that would be the normal thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Obviously, hindsight Andy's out there just wondering why they're taking so long, but obviously with planted now, again, they couldn't take as much space as maybe they had wanted here.
That's the thing, with this plant position, it leans towards kind of just setting up for a crossfire here, and that's difficult.
They are trying to push CT. Maybe with the knife coming through and a little bit of information here and there, and now seeing utility invested through double door. It's not a bad shout, but Marv couldn't get that first shot he wanted, and now there's problems for Crashies. A 1v4 isn't impossible, it's just improbable, and Loud looking good. This is clean work, Mike.
Really is. Keeping numbers up as well is going to be a big boom to the economy. As Loud find their 4th. I think actually on the back of that purchase as well, I mean, you look at what's available on the right side. Not sure where Yay sits in terms of his ultimate. Hasn't been overly active just yet. Yeah, that's still 3 away here. And you're right, that's what I lean towards. Yeah, just going to pop through now.
Just comes up as we go to the replay here, just kind of rewinding things to Aspas with this. I like this aggressive work, because again, let's kind of talk bigger picture as we are in this timeout for a second. If you are allowed, to an extent, you have faced these two and lost 2 now. They did pick up that first kind of time meeting, but we always said you don't get to beat OpTic twice. That's always been the tagline with them. But now, again, I have to kind of focus in on the fact that Loud have had time to address this, hopefully, look into this. So is this the time they can potentially best them?
Which is why I'd love to think, actually, coming away from that first appearance on Breeze, the OpTic had, Loud have gone, yeah, okay, we fancy ourselves now.
Yeah.
Because honestly, realistically, you look at this, Pearl is the unknown quantity, right? But Chef Chat, you've got to assume there's something dirty in the back pocket for OpTic.
Gotta think so. But they have to get there.
This rides on winning breeze. It absolutely rides on winning breeze because with Fracture, again, yes, Loud pushed OpTic previously, but it was still kind of, it was very black and white.
Yeah, I would say, though, even with that in mind, though, and it's a rarity in Valorant so far, that we actually get to see international consistency, repetition.
Absolutely.
Two teams actually meeting each other on such a regular basis that it isn't just going over VODs, which obviously will be the case, but the fact they have tangible history, they know how each other start playing, and this is something you've got to start looking forward to in the future, but as I said, these two seem fated for each other. It's hard to remove them away, so hopefully a couple of things now to be noted, and this is when maybe it plays outside of the statistics and the previous results because they're so familiar. However, back underway, OpTic need to have course corrected from those first couple of rounds. Let's see what they've noted here. This is probably not the round to really see it. Coming through with a Stinger, Sheriff, and almost no light armor behind it, apart from Victor and Ye.
Trying to get a couple of bodies down tube, though, very early on. See actually Less's position ready for just this very push. Actually, a big tag through Sadak that wants to finish it off. Satsy actually finds the second as well. Beautiful collapse behind this as well. Very unorthodox positions to be able to find. 3 separate angles onto this, nearly catching FNS on the backside of the rope as well.
This could all be just kind of testing for that buy round again. Quick rotations. Quick response.
As well.
Yeah, Les is farming now. Big tag on the first player too. Sagrashi's barely breathing. 6 HP. This is not kind nor pretty, and Alt's very close by as well. Les almost onto his. You've got Sassy, Aspas sitting on theirs, and the scoreline is looking good. This is where you want to see that response from OpTic in the buy round. Absolutely.
You see this. You talk about the scoreline. Actually, last time I think when these teams faced off on Breeze, Loud only managed 4 rounds on the defense.
Wow, what a
OpTic
change.
absolutely ran away with it, and it was a pacey offensive half. So this is interesting here because Loud just seem in total control. Whether or not there's going to be any sort of focus now from OpTic towards mid, I'm looking at the minimap and I'm seeing actually a couple of bodies scattered a little safer this time around. And again, nobody's really been swinging shop. Nobody's been, you know, aggressively trying to take a first blood in tube just yet. But there's been a lack of presence towards mid. This time around, Aspas immediately countered with utility.
Massive. They've quelled this aggression. That's probably the first step of potentially the plan. Be that the adjustment off the timeout, but a really big key aspect to note. He now has to slip away. This gives room for OpTic to build up here. Now, how have they addressed Tube? Because that's also been a battle that's been going on consistently. However, it's Ye finding Sadak first and maybe getting a little interested in pushing those extremities, but the default gets tested.
I mean, I was talking about nobody aggressively swinging shop. Look at where this death marker is. That is exactly that. So Ye almost gifted. OpTic now feel as if they've got a little access towards B site. Look at the setup. On the back of the null command, look at the trap wires, look at actually where Pancada's positioned. He's just looking to pick something up on the back of that utility. Still wants to keep his poison orb up as well. Actually got a lineup for the poison, but I think it misses there. FNS will find the backstab.
This is a real nice lurk, a nuisance, a position to have to clear.
OpTic going to drift away. He's heard both players rotate off A.
Big call. Big call from the Kingmaker, the Puppet Master, hell, even Daddy if you want to call him that. But again, there is the site now, it should be theirs. He's got 27 seconds, so things could go wrong. Keep in mind, Sassy still has that ult, could decide when he wants to use it. Les could punish on the cross, but he doesn't quite get the shot he wants. Now he loses the angle. He's running up the player, but that's not quite enough. And note where the spike's going to be. Sassy looking to try and get invested, and still, you've got to keep your eye on towards FNS. The position's a nuisance to get past. And there it is, dealt with, so now suddenly Gateway is open.
And the wall will drop as well on the back of this. Sassy revealed here. Not Les is going to find any value outside here. Would actually swing through. Marv completely unaware.
Yeah, and now look how isolated they are from each other. Victor has to swing and he loses. And you need Ye here. If you are OpTic, you need Ye to have one of his rounds. The cross is being watched. He gets the tag! And Loud together make it through. The composure is key, and Loud looking good.
Looking flawless on that retake. Again, it feels like that took an eternity to get started, but again, FNS being the first one to fall, they lose that safety blanket.
Yeah.
The wall goes down, a couple of people have to challenge.
They didn't even...
Wow, what?
And this is without the ult, so Sassy still got his, Aspas still has his, Sadak in the pocket. It's so much
I
here.
thought for a moment there, the spy cam tag comes through. Maybe the Hunter's Fury was going to follow up on that, but again, it's played to perfection on the way back through.
But early work looked good for OpTic. They got the punish on the push out over towards shop. Ye being activated early. Again, FNS hearing rotations. Like everything went perfect until the post plant, which is mad to see. So again, for OpTic, probably frustration starting to hit in here. 6-1 is a big scoreline to have to overcome. Aspas, though, again, seeing a little further ahead here, going to deal with that early utility, slips to a slightly deeper angle, just dependent on the wall, but OpTic happy to take this space. Again, though, the purchase, it ain't perfect, but that shot is. Head remove, Victor put to bed early. And now, I mean, you've got that late lurk coming in mid, but what are you going to achieve with it? Do a little damage on towards Aspas, but you need the bodies to stay alive on the side and just not getting it. All right, FNS, fair enough.
Beaming with the spectre.
Yeah,
what?
fair enough, man, but the ult's gone. That GA removed, so just FNS to fall. Man, Mike, let's take stock. Let's hit the brakes for a second here. We're at 7-1. Is this, let's kind of then talk in context. Is this, we've lost to them in the past, we've played them before ourselves. Is this good calling on the fly? Is this good preparation? What are you chalking this up to?
I think there's a couple of rounds here where you can chalk it up to good prep. I mean, there's lots of space that OpTic aren't. They're not necessarily giving it up, but there's a lack of kind of presence around the map, and now they're punishing that. I mean, you saw it initially from the pistol round, then we see it in the follow-up round where they were continuously addressing this presence in elbow. And if there's no pressure there, they're free roaming mid.
And again, look at it, Aspas, rinse and repeat. Instantly down towards elbow, instantly taking that space. Now, Ye looks like he might be put to task on this in case anyone tries to slip through mid-deep potentially, but even by now, the rotation's going to be in. You're going to have the ult being popped. That's going to come through. That's Crashies, though. Bear in mind, Sassy still has his. Absolutely. Denial. A 2-for-1 trade out. OpTic really just getting the steps towards the side. Big pick, though, fighting Sadak. That could be the gateway open, but Les going to fill that void. And you're going to hear the Hunter's Fury get ripped from across the map as well. Sending that through. The flash is good, but the shot's better. Crashies still standing, but only for a moment. It's on FNS now, a 1v3. Oh, there goes one of them, at least vision removed. 1v2 standing. That spikes.
I was going to say, has the Viper's bit here, but he's actually going to pop it out here. Aspas shouldn't come through. Actually, yeah, the plant's going to come outside. Look at the reposition.
Does Sassy see this? I don't know if he caught vision on him, just dipping back into this, but now that moment of time has been removed. What does FNS do with this? He's got a Galaxy Brain this somehow. All right, just stand and deliver. Does he try and slip the back? Just holding.
Aspas has given up the angle. Oh my god.
The timing's unreal. Aspas must have caught a glimpse. Just see him teetering on the edge of the ult there. Diffuse gonna come in. And Loud have every single answer, Mike. And this is 8-1. And OpTic are getting on the sites, they're getting plants, they're doing what they can in this. But again, this mid-presence, this work coming out from Aspas alone, this theory behind it is brilliant to watch.
I mean, I talked about the adaptation potentially with this Cypher and, looking to backstab some of these executions. Yeah, he's out on an island in some of these buy rounds. Yeah. And time again, Loud are finding that.
This is nerve-wracking times now. Loud's map choice, though, so
we're round 10
in mind,
but look at the money as well. Like, it's not even going to matter for the last two. OpTic walk a fine line here of what they want to put into each round. First time we've actually seen utility invested towards tunnel here to slow down Aspas. Suppress this time around.
We saw a little bit of utility coming out from Crashies to try and identify that when he was going walkabouts even deeper. Did get noted once
but
prior.
Towards bottom mid. It's still allowed safe
passage to that point.
A safe swing from top mid is what I mean.
Yeah, so first time we've actually seen that earlier commitment. Now, again though, you can't avoid this guy.
Everywhere.
He's playing a beautiful game with this operator currently. Not exactly the highest score we've ever seen, but he's 12-3. It's nothing to be sneered at. And the push is being watched. Sadak in perfect unison, in combination. They're shutting down everything OpTic are trying to do. And FNS last man alive again. A 1v4. Spike in no man's land, a mile away, just left in Narnia. And it just feels like OpTic, the lights are on, but no one is home currently. Loud are at the door, and this is a commanding scoreline.
Let's look at, I mean, the miracle being if they can get the 3 rounds from the rest of this half. And it's not looking like it at all. Again, coming out of that timeout, yeah, we saw a round or two where there might have been a little bit of a switch up, but nothing tangible. I mean, Loud is, post first contact, they literally just stack up. And they just move as a unit. I mean, even here you see reflected in the kills. FNS actually on 10 kills, but there's nothing else really to write home about for the rest of OpTic.
No one above 3. Crashies 3, Ye 3, 2 for Marvdom.
I mean, FNS has more kills than the rest of the team combined.
Yeah. It's pretty telling. But it just feels like it's just not working out. It's not even like that. I'm watching them look cold. They're just the way the Loud are approaching this is so refined. Now, first time we're seeing this quite quick B crunch coming in. A little more attention through middle, but you can already see caught up in the trap. Victor can't make it any further. And the utilities invested perfectly. Again, so prepared, Pincada. Perfect work. Crashy's dead and the support system's in place. Rotations come through. Middle is no longer free, but it does get found. FNS denies the support from Sadak. And now you have a 2v3. Maybe still chance in this. Maybe not.
And this is exactly the sort of round I was talking about, right? Where actually Loud are able to play both sides of the coin, right? They're aggressive in mid time and time again. The one round where we see OpTic switch up, try and achieve this split through B, and they're sitting so deep, they're just ready to absorb it. And all this utility, it's choreographed. They know as soon as contact comes through, what to invest where. And OpTic, they don't even get a chance to find a gunfight. And there's nothing that OpTic can say, all right, cool, let's swing the guy on ladder, let's swing the guy backside.
And the juxtaposition of what you just saw on screen, Sassy and FNS. FNS, I'm sure this is the most frustrating game to play as an in-game leader right now, as someone trying to lead the way. Obviously with Chet there as well, but you are having no room. You feel red. You feel like your absolute strap book is just open on their table.
And round 12 now. Yeah. There's a walk up mid here, but look at Loud. How Loud have adjusted now? It's almost in anticipation of now giving up this space and allowing OpTic to have it. They're like, okay, what are you going to do with it?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Victor needs it. Get Sassy down. That's something. That's an operator found. Not bad. He finds the other as well, but on the receiving end this time, Aspas removes that from the clutch, and now already a 4v3. Unless he's still on this site. He's got support from CT. Pincada there to help the cross if he needs it. They're so aware of what OpTic want to achieve. Now this time, Pincada won't have that utility to depend upon. Nice little jump spot from Crashies to note the position. Now he's got Ye by his side. Pancada's still going to try and buy the time. As soon as you step towards the site, Les is there. Now it's just Les here, though. Could be in trouble. Support sitting towards CT. And look at that. Aspas is on it today. And it's all marved. 1v3. What do you got for us? One knife in the pocket. That's what he's got to play with. Spots one and it's over. It's done with. Mike, this has been a blowout, but what a beautiful way tactically to look at a team coming in prepped here.
Absolutely textbook. Again, the adjustment at the end of this half was beautiful to see from Loud.
I think we just need to leave it there, leave it to the desk to break down.
Thank you very much, Pansy and Hypok. This is just brutal.
What's there to talk about?
It's just not fun.
This speaks for itself. I don't need to do anything here.
I feel really uncomfortable. You ever just like see something like
yeah.
really awkward and you're just like, oh, that makes me not feel good? Yeah, that half was not feeling good, especially when you factor in just what we expected going into this grudge match. This just feels like a beatdown.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about the positives, which is entirely on the side of Loud, let's be honest.
Sure.
Seth, Aspas, he's really showing up here.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I mean, one of the biggest struggles that OpTic are having right now is that they cannot track this guy. They cannot predict where he's going to be positioned round over round. He's got a 5.0 right now on his KDA.
Kills per round.
It's incredible.
Yep.
He's absolutely incredible right now. This is unbelievable. And yeah, he's 14 kills across 12 rounds.
You turned to me halfway through that, I would say quarter into that, and you said everywhere they think he's going to be, he's not there, and suddenly he's somewhere else. And I agree with you. They couldn't get conditioning read. Finesse, every time they thought he might op here, he opted somewhere else. Then he would go halls. Then he might control mid. Then he would push deep mid and have a deep control. You can't be conditioned when the condition upon itself is completely just randomized every single round. I love that. But if we're looking forward into what is to come, this has never happened between both OpTic. It's been, last time they went head-to-head, they dropped 4 defensive rounds between each other. That is ridiculous. Now they've doubled, almost tripled it. That's incredible for the side of Loud.
11's all they get. Anyone?
I mean, you have to be hoping that they can make a DRX-esque run back like we saw earlier. If they can't, then it's done. I mean, they got 6 straight rounds versus Boom when they swapped over to the defender's side. They clearly look more comfortable. We'll have to see if they can do it here.
May I remind you that your casters are Pansy and Hypok, so we're probably going to go OT here, right, guys?
Okay, Yinzu. I mean, the hopium's high.
That's
for
the
that
hill
right
she
now.
wants to die on.
That's the
Okay,
one.
then.
Come on, dude. Let's have one game go quick. And honestly, this is and this
Loud
is just
deserve
weird.
to close
They
this out
do.
clean.
And it's a really weird position to be in, because obviously we want highly competitive games, super contested. But when a team is,
I also want Pearl.
I would really like to see Pearl. for me, I'm happy to see the fact that Loud have adjusted so well. I think if anyone enjoys watching good Valorant, you'll be sitting here going, okay, so this is how you adjust. This is what happens when you get time. This is what happens when you get to pour it over. You're bitter from the losses. You come back in, and this is your chance to prove them wrong, right? Because they've suffered at the hands of OpTic. So to come out and have this resounding of a scoreline has got to shake off some of those nerves, some of those, you know, the feeling in the pit of your stomach. And for OpTic, well, we got a long way back, Mike.
Door actually going to be open here. Crashies was spotted on a jump peak, but this is Loud kind of planting the seed towards Tube. An Orthodox hold initially from Victor and FNS, but have repositioned now. Loud, I'm curious how, or at least what the plan is here. Aspas and Sadak still ever present here in Tube, but just waiting for the peak, it seems. Scanning
Yeah,
ahead.
they're pretty close at this point. Crushies gonna have to be a little bit careful. Doesn't want to get
40
caught out.
seconds left.
And you're right. They've run down the clock so low here. 35 now. Contact made. FNS with the note of the player. Does have Victor to work off here as well, so certainly not alone. I'm
30
terrified
seconds
of this
left.
timer, but FNS doing really well. Finding Sadak here, and Victor still yet to be noted. Finally shows presence and is gorgeous. OpTic holding the line until Loud aren't out of it just yet, but they need to get a wiggle on. Spike needs to fall back into hand. They need to do something mad if they want to try and pull this one off. And I like this work. Bear in mind, you've already just seen the player dip in deep towards shop. Going to fall away from that. Play safety. Play for the post plant if they have to. And is anything going to come through? Les needs it. Ain't going to get it. Marved is there. But I've got to say as well, Victor playing that really well. Not getting ahead of himself. Dipping back in towards Cave and playing super safe. Very well done.
Yeah, I mean, Loud just initially look as if they're unsure how to approach this. Time almost concludes it, right? There's a moment there where the wall is down. Loud could obviously see that, and there's no burster aim, mate. And that's the concerning part. The wall then comes back up. FNS finds this freebie. That's the on the start of this. The shock dart then comes through, finds the kill. Victor then finds the third. At that point, again, you've got to scramble to recover that round.
You do.
That's on the back of what? Spotting Crashies 15 seconds into the round?
Not much. No, this is a good start. And if anything, this could be just a warm into the game. You don't want to come in cold into map 2 potentially. For OpTic, again, yes, you can say all they get is 11, you know, round by round. We all know the phrases, don't worry, but it is very difficult to come back in and keep it as clean as it needs to be. So we will keep that in mind. When it gets to about 7, 8, then we start considering it. For now, it feels like a formality. They have the purchase here. A little bit of chip damage has been achieved, though, finding Crashies. So, got to be a bit cautious to not fall foul to any other trickery. Pancada, Sassy still have those sheriffs in hand, so certainly could do some damage.
The problem being, pop the door open, and FNS and Ye are playing so close under Tube that they hear the retreat. Loud, unfortunately, weren't able to retrieve the weapon either. Ye kind of policing that now. At the 50-second mark, Loud as 3. Up to walk through mid. Whether or not Ye actually going to swing back to it's giving her up. So, I mean, Marv's lined up with a Bulldog. Expect him to just be ADS.
Yep.
Hyper-focused.
There it
exactly.
is. Look at the lead.
Hyper-focused on
Not
this
even
angle.
blinking. Here we go. 4
Place your
12,
bets.
man.
I say 2.
One and done. Okay, it's yeah, he's there. Save us, yeah. There we go. Yeah, he's got it. 3 in the end. Got a little sweaty palms. Yeah. No.
Marv was just baiting Ye in. It's fine.
What a teammate.
Yeah, just trying to farm the Tour de Force.
It's crazy you don't do that for me. I don't know, man.
I don't know what you're talking about.
11-3 though. Again, first big challenge will be coming into this round. So you can see the rifles come through. This is and it's just a multitude of tests when you're looking at these sort of scorelines. It is just simply, okay, here's the next hurdle. This is the first big one. They got past the pistol. Fantastic. Now, the first buy comes in. Rifles are out. Nothing really to know ult-wise. Nothing beyond that. But let's see what comes through here for Loud.
We still look at this point, though, that OpTic have
Finesse.
to convert theirs.
Finesse
Yay.
went walkabouts. He just found 1-for-1 trade out. Leaves Victor on an island. Support, I guess, towards stairs in the form of Crash. But even still, Victor needs to deliver, and he's doing just that. Yay by his side. And it's less than Pancada with a mountain to climb themselves. Spike, irrelevant almost to the outcome, it feels like. And uh-oh, maybe not, because Les just found 2 out of nowhere. Ult comes in, Ye still the safest pair of hands, and Les needs to deliver. 2 players, he ain't gonna get it. 2 still stand. Rifle can be upgraded here as well for Marv, I'm pretty sure. Yep, oh, no.
That's
Yeah.
what we want.
Nice, got it. 2 stay alive, but there's the first big threat, Mike.
That's the one. I mean, yeah, 2 rifles brought across into that. OpTic need a buffer to the finances. So this almost needs to be flawless in my eyes. They need to keep this and get the ball rolling.
But
in terms of building early momentum, this is the one now that has to be clean.
Speaking of getting the ball rolling, Yay suddenly waking up here, already on 10. Now, some of those, hey, it's Eco Cobra, but you take them, it's confidence, it's starting to feel out the game a bit more, and obviously building towards his ult, more importantly here. So,
Well,
again,
when we talk about the finances as well, that's a key factor, getting the tour de force online and giving him that buy in hand, basically.
now, coming back through Loud's purchase here, nothing completely to sneer at, but it is still pretty light. So, let's see how clean OpTic can keep this, because you said it quite clearly. This has to be smooth sailing, and it ain't. Already losing out on Yay. That's a rifle dropped and recoverable, bear in mind. Now, of course, FNS could potentially try and fill that gap. Oh, no. Yeah, FNS fills the gap at least towards middle, but there's still layers to this. There are layers on top of layers. Pancada closing in, and it feels inevitable. The hunter becomes the hunted, but turns around. Gets to keep his life for a second longer. Plot now in. Loud making mountains out of this molehill. Sassy and Pancada neither got the rifles, though. And this, ooh, it's whiffy, but it's enough to buy a little bit of time here. That's job done towards Sassy, and they note the final player. This is 41 HP and not much more. So, again, they should be fine. Diffuse going to come through. I don't see anything that Pancada can do here. No. 3 stand. It's not the cleanest, Mike, but they'll take it.
I mean, Yay down at 350 as well. I'm not even sure how it's going to land things. Just looking at the money, yeah, they're not really going to have a big cushion to build upon here. The tour de force comes through, yes, but...
Second hurdle, Mike. Yeah, and this is the one that Loud pulled the plug on.
I mean, I start getting worried. Another buy round is when I start getting worried. Yes, we're talking about the difference between 11-6 and potentially, you know...
Sure.
But this is the one for me. Whether or not actually Loud come out of this, because it's been fairly passive, right? I mean, even there, that was the most aggressive peak we've seen on the side of Aspas, and any real commitment behind that to get towards B site, and a little bit of value, with a little bit of success. So whether or not we do see a total pace change here coming out of Loud.
And they have the ability to do that. They're still within that little bit of play that they get, where they can pull out something a little bit more risque, maybe something they wouldn't obviously want to depend upon every round, but they could throw that curveball off the back of the timeout. Certainly a very viable look. But on the other side, for OpTic, it's starting to take the right steps. It's starting to form into something. Ults coming through. Economy not super robust, but starting to get towards it. And I'd say 7 for me is always the marker where I start paying attention. 7 to 8, somewhere around that, depending on how the money's sitting and how the rest of the economy is going to kind of fold down. But
this round gives them 7 in my eyes.
It should do.
So
right? This could be the gateway round, and it's why there's a timeout now for Loud, because they know that. Because 7 starts to give you that real, genuine opportunity. Let's see if they can get past this hurdle, though. 11 to 5, we go back in. OpTic looking very good on this. It's been precarious, but it has been job done. So we dive back in. Let's see what Loud have cooked up for us in the timeout. What have they come into this with? Initially, just going to try and ward Yay away.
Actually, the knife got dealt with there. Didn't actually suppress Yay, so he's unnoted. Unless it was the headhunter and they hear that sound cue, but it's a heavy stack outside B here from Loud. Actually, he's going to be tasked with dealing with this.
Oh, yeah, he's got a chance at it. Lets one pass. The flash comes in, tries to count the timing, just pulls the trigger. Had nothing else to do with it, but there he is, finally back in the fight. Victor did well to find the first. Gets himself a second, and the lockdown between the two of them. It's just beautiful work. Don't need to overcook it. They've got each other, and that is perfect. Huge impact work between the two of them.
And this is Yay nearly getting caught off there. When I see the flash come through, if I don't see this TP, there's always a chance, right? That you get that, just that moment where a headshot can be landed as Yay tries to TP out, but perfect. It's clinical. The way they dissect this execution.
Really
so well played from Victor and Yay. Again, the timing of both of these peaks as well. This is with Yay almost backpedaling him, right? TP's away, has to actually swing a pretty awkward angle.
It's not a
you know they're barreling through main.
Yeah, that was really nice synergy between the two. Now we go again. Now we noted the money would have been depleted. Now this purchase has a little bit of more bite to it, considering you do have Aspas on the ult, so that could be a bit of an element to keep in mind. But what does OpTic do now? They need to keep composed here. Can't get rattled by this. They know the opportunity they've been given now. And we just see them hitting the brakes. And the same can be said for Loud, though. Looking for chance, maybe looking for a little bit of space for Aspas. No one giving them any early shots in this.
I mean, I know this is technically an eco Blade Storm, all things considered, but just seems so passive from Loud. Where's that decisiveness we saw in the first half?
Putting a lot of weight on Aspas's shoulder to make value out of this. Trap's still in place, though. I don't know how he's going to get past here unnoted.
Does have the cloud burst, but again, it's going to give away the sound cue anyway.
There it is. So decides to deal with it. Knife comes in, and well, yeah, Aspas down to a classic. So he's going to lose a little bit of that validity to this round. And yet, all too seemingly aware of this attention that could come through on double door. Now, when does he check back? Because they've already crept through. There's the pixel noted. There's the player dropped. Sassy's gone. Check towards main. Sees the player diving out towards side. Aspas, good for it though. Quick trade. Marv, brilliant play to fill the void and make sure none of those threats came through. FNS to round it out. 3 still stand. And OpTic is starting to push this game.
Getting a little bit worried, not gonna lie, because these rounds, like I said, they are passive, lacking a little decisiveness we saw in the first half, which was so prominent. I mean, they ran away with the first half. OpTic didn't get a chance to take gunfights. Now, it's just ship walking up, hoping for, you know, favorable contact. There's none of this kind of complementary angles we were seeing on the defensive half. They're not getting themselves into a position to really pressure OpTic at all. No,
Sadak does have ult, Pancada as well, so I am keeping that in mind, that maybe they could be influential to this, but again, attention, so much attention put towards trying to get that tube control early on.
But 1:30 on the clock, how long does it take to actually build off this tube progress? That's the question I've got, because we've seen it a couple of times now. It's not even going to end up on
They're
A.
not going for it.
Aspas is just here to try and backstab this rotation, potentially.
Maybe noting the stack of players, potentially, in the previous rounds. There has been 3 kind of lingering on this side, so potentially not a bad read. So we look towards Victor and Marv. All going to come through, so now they know what's up. Victor needs to turn attention to this. Worried about middle, but commits towards main. Looks at the first players forward and they start stepping. Already he's gone down. That's not good. Marv now sweating bullets. He's gone. Sadak breaks in. And now the rotation's going to get cut off. That's the presence. Backed away from that. They're going to note it, but still, look at the amount of bodies on the side here. This would need a miracle. This needs some heavy impact, some heavy lifting from one of them, or it's going to be clean. First for FNS, not bad. The follow-up for Crashies. It ain't over yet. 3v3 now. There's still opportunity here. The ult invested to try and secure this plant.
FNS is here so quickly as well. If he can dig out Pancada, if Pancada just slips out of this Viper's net. I thought he was just going to back into that corner there, but...
Oh, that's not bad. They're going to force him to move. Trying to just limit the areas that are available. They need to get a move on now, Mike, though. They don't have the time for this. Pancada just going to spray in through this one. It's all down to Ye. A 1v3, and it ain't looking good. They've done the timing on him. There it is. Beautiful from Loud. 12 on the board, but it took so much to get there.
Again, they had to stack up this execution on the back of just planting Aspas and Tube. Maybe this is better. I mean, for it to take 7 or 8 rounds conditioning, whatever you want to call it, but just initially, at least there's a plan behind what this early round equates to. There's a plan behind it. Unfortunately, I mean, OpTic actually have a great read, I think, on what Loud are going to do here. It's unfortunate Victor falls here on the back of the reveal. Again, I'm not sure what whether Marv's throwing a flash through, a nade through, or anything, but I mean, if Victor doesn't fall there, FNS is playing the other side, and they have a perfect wall to cut off that entrance. So, really interested to see, actually, what would have been the outcome otherwise.
So, timeout for OpTic now hitting. Going to try and really mull over the last couple of options. Obviously, a lot of ultimates were burnt up then for Loud, and every of the other traditional rounds had been very favorable towards OpTic. Still have Sassy's Hunter's Fury in pocket for Loud that they could bring into play if they do believe as such they need it. FNS has his, though, so Viper's Pit there, and the knives for Victor if necessary, but as it stands, I don't know whether they follow this up, but I am seeing a double operator come out for OpTic if they fancy a bit of that. I mean, why not? Who am I to judge, but this isn't enough yet from Loud to kind of get me back on track, but it was the first time we've seen them work with real intent, I feel, kind of working off everything they've been building in those rounds coming up to this.
First time you see them lean back towards solid fundamentals and an actual, you know, commitment as a team unit, right? And that's the thing, it's kind of been 2 or 3, sometimes even 4 or 5 different things going on at the same time for Loud in that early default, and never achieving anything off it. Like I said, there was no pressure, they weren't really drawing any U2 out, they weren't really identifying where any players on the side of OpTic were playing anyway. Early Viper's Pit here, popped outside A.
Risque for Victor. wants to potentially have that.
Wants to make use of this. Actually, the
Impact.
Spike's going to spot it.
Okay, it's going to be dealt with. But Les was considering even pushing up on this one, but it's Aspas to find Marved. And now that's a problem. That cracks open the map right up the guts here. Crashies, though. Oh, they are willing to dance with danger. Victor's no idea. Victor has no idea. Oh my god, how's he got his life still? Mike, what on earth is this round? It feels so precarious! Victor! You gotta be kidding me! Some of these shots coming through! And yay! Just send them bullets down, find Sadak. They put him down to 3.
And initially, this looks like the perfect read from Loud. They're anticipating this aggression on the back of the timeout. Equipped for it, Victor doesn't get punished, and then finds a freebie through the cyber cage.
Miraculous, he got to
what?
keep his life there. Let alone the kill to follow. Where do they go now? 3 of them remaining, maybe eyeing up that B site, but it's Ye waiting. Operator still in play. When does he check towards main, though?
30
The
seconds
timing
left.
window.
He's double scoped.
Oh, yeah, you're a lucky boy. Deals with the outer and slips slightly deeper towards the site. They're still coming his way. Rotations, not quite there just yet. First one going to make it towards the site is Victor. And actually, it's Victor to save him once again. This could be a huge round for Victor. Outdone. Les is there. 10 seconds now. Spike towards the site. Is it making the cross? It has. Spike plant going to go down. Nothing to deny it. Crashies has a couple of shock darts, but the plant is in. We're in the post plant. And now the time limit is against OpTic. Oh,
Crashy spotted on the top here. And FNS was noted because of the trap wire.
they know both. And Aspas has such a dirty angle to play with here. FNS, the shot goes astray. Les is his chance to strike though. 3 this round as FNS called upon. Spots the first, he needs this fight and he needs it now. He needed it 10 seconds ago. He's not being given the chances. He's looking for the crossfire. He's got the fight. He takes the first. And time, he's got a couple of seconds to play with here, but he's got to find him fast. And Aspas, that operator in hand, 12 on the board. Surely this doesn't even happen for him. It's going to be halfway. He's going to try and do what he can. It feels inevitable. Loud finally converts.